Hi friends, welcome to Stitch House Creations. I'm Tammy, and I thought I'd share with you today um, 10 non-yarny things about me and the tag that's going around. And first of all, my name is Tammy, but my mom decided to name me Tammy after an old program called, Tammy Goes to the Doctor, Tammy Goes to the Dentist, etc. And Debbie Reynolds starred in that. Now, she had decided either to name me Tammy, or she thought about Tamra or Debbie, but it was basically between Tammy and Debbie. So, and she decided to stick with Tammy, so that is how I got my name. So, number two, when I was a child, a young child, and when you have imaginary friends and that, my imaginary friend was a pink elephant, and with like, and she had like Dumbo ears. And to this day, I still like elephants. So, although I don't have imaginary friend elephant anymore. Okay, and number three, I started school when I was 6 years old because of the date that they have when you start school, and I didn't qualify, or I wasn't at the deadline for the age. So I started school when I was 6 years old, and then I was held back for my first year because I had um, I was sick a lot, and eventually it was all because of my tonsils. I got my tonsils taken out, and during that time I had a little lion that my parents gave me. It was my first time being away from my family, and um, very difficult, for a little person to be away from home. And so I had that lion, and I still have that lion to this day. It sits on the shelf in my room. And um, I graduated because of that. I graduated in 1986. And number four, my mom crocheted me a blanket. All your crafty people will enjoy this one. My mom crocheted me a blanket, and it was done in red heart at the time. And I was 8 years old when she made it, and I really enjoyed the red, white, and blue. And so um, she made me that blanket when I was 8 years old. My mom passed away in 2010, so it's been December 2010. It was just turned 8 years. And I have this blanket to this day, and it's something that I really cherish. And it's twin size, and sometimes I use it, other times, it's just something I really appreciate. And and my mom made it for me. So um, I have always been, when I was younger, I was quiet and shy. It was one of those things where in school you're like, I was in high school, and I remember many times, and the teacher would ask a question or would pick somebody in the room, and I'd be like, please don't pick me, please don't pick me, please don't pick me, because I really just didn't want to answer the questions, and I didn't know what to say, and I was scared to death that I was just gonna freeze up and not be able to say a word. And so, I had close friends that we had fun, and I wasn't really shy with them. Eventually, I got out of that. I was still quiet, but then I thought, what's the harm in trying new things? What's the worst thing that can possibly happen? So, the worst thing was you fail, maybe people will laugh at you. You don't succeed. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to just go for it. And even though I was still quiet and I liked my quiet time, I decided that I would go for it. So I did. I did. I tried out for cheerleading. I didn't succeed, but I found other things that I enjoyed. And let's see. And number 6 was I sang in choir. I played volleyball. I was on the track team. I used to throw the disc in the shot put. I tried running, but I was not the fastest runner in the bunch. But in 10th grade, we had a track meet where it was like 10th graders. It was just 10th grade track meet, and then you had 10th grade school records. So me and 3 of my other friends who were on the track team got together and we decided we'd do a relay. And we did the relay, and I don't remember which one it was, but we did the relay and we set a track record, or a record for our school. And okay, here's the funny part. The only reason we set the record is because we were the only ones who ever did it. Yeah. So, but we held that record for 2 years. And until somebody else did it and was a little faster than us. So, but I always thought that was funny. But number 7, I have 2 siblings, a half sister who's younger than me, and a half brother who's older than me. And I grew up with my half sister, and I met my half brother when I was 34, and I also met my birth father when I was 34. And I have been blessed to get to know them. We rarely speak, but it was still a blessing to have the opportunity to meet them and just have some of those questions in my life answered. So, number 8. So I asked Jesus to forgive my sins and lead my life shortly before Christmas in 1988. And that the night I asked him into my life, I was watching the 700 Club, and it was late at night, and I was alone, and my daughter was probably around 6 or 7 weeks old, and I was just a young, single, scared mother who just needed God's help, and I couldn't do it alone. I couldn't do it alone. I remember that first Christmas sitting there thinking, Lord, how am I going to do this? You know? And I did it. I worked hard and raised her and made it through. So if you're a single parent out there, you can do it. You can do it. Don't lose hope. So on number 9 is being a single parent. I went through the whole, randomly times dating. I got to a point where I gave up dating completely. I got tired of, I don't know about you ladies, but or gentlemen, I got tired of uh, the fake facade that everybody puts their best foot forward and you don't really get to know them type deal. And I just got tired of it all. I wanted somebody who was going to be true, who had some of the same likes. I don't expect everything to be identical by any means. In fact, when I gave up dating, I started praying for a husband, and then finally I said, okay, Lord, I don't know if you have a husband for me or not. If you want me to be single, I will be. And but my heart's desire. So I had prayed that, and then I also said, If I prayed that my weaknesses are his strengths and my strengths are his weaknesses. And and um, the baby's crying. I gotta go get him in a second here. The so I prayed that, um, and in 2009 or not 2009 in 2005 I met my husband, and I had prayed that God would bring him to me and make him known to me, because I gave up dating. I decided I was going to be too busy serving the Lord and too busy doing my own thing to even notice any guy on the face of the earth, because it just I just was so tired of the whole dating thing. So quickly, my husband came to church, and he was there as a guest, and I was working on ministry for Operation Christmas Child, and I'll share more about that in another video. Some of you may be familiar with that, but I was sharing Operation Christmas Child because I was leading that in our church, and um, he helped me out with that ministry when I needed volunteers. And then our very first date was watching the Operation Christmas Child video. So for those of you who are aware of what Operation Christmas Child is, it's by Samaritan's Purse. You can look up Samaritan's Purse and learn more. But God brought us together through a shoebox. So that shoebox does more than just reach people for the gospel. It actually changes lives in more than one way. Anyway, we've been together ever since. And in my last thing was in number 10, I raised my daughter. I was a single parent. I raised my daughter until she was 18 on my own. And then John and I got married. I was 40 when we got married. And that was my first marriage, and I have been in with that marriage came 2 handsome sons, and I've been blessed to have 2 boys and 1 daughter, 2 boys, and just so thankful for each of them. And I can't imagine life without them now. Me and my husband have been married almost 12 years. Actually, it'll be 12 years in April. And I can't believe it's even been 12 years. I'm 52 and he's 55. And I can't imagine my life without him now. I'm just so thankful that God brought him into my life. And one of the other things I wanted to share was I'm going to be having a 100 subscriber giveaway. So I hope that I'll be announcing that. I'll be having another video on that soon. And that you would check that out when I get ready to announce it. And I also wanted to tag a couple of people in this non-yarnie things about you challenge or question thing. So I'd like to tag Allie of Chaos Monkey, Holly of Proper Pineapple, and Ruth of Coffee, Yarn, and Dinosaur Podcast. Love to hear more from you ladies. And thanks for joining me today. And I will see you in the next video. God bless.